After an enemy attack leaves these soldiers stranded at sea, a massive 20-foot man-eating shark starts hunting them one by one. What happens next turns their survival mission into a nightmare. At the beginning of the story, we see a group of soldiers listening to their leader's speech. The leader is telling all the soldiers the story of how he lost his hand and how he managed to face his enemies throughout the entire war without losing his courage. The captain tells everyone, "You guys will be going to war too, so start preparing from now on. In war, nobody except your own people will help you, so always maintain a strong bond with your teammates. There will be no kings among you, and don't try to earn special honor or recognition. Out there, it's just you and your fellow soldiers. So soldiers, how about a small test run before heading to war? You have 4 hours. Anyone who fails this test within 4 hours will have to take it again. Now get moving, your time starts now." As soon as they hear this, all the soldiers begin running toward a jungle. Everyone is helping one another, but suddenly one soldier slips while climbing and falls into a muddy swamp. It looks like there's no way he will survive. But just then, his teammate grabs his hand. After pulling him with all his strength, he manages to escape the swamp safely. However, by the time all of this is over, the 4 hours are almost gone. Everyone else reaches the camp early, but those 2 soldiers arrive just 3 seconds before the deadline. After that, the captain begins the next stage of training. Everyone is training except those 2 soldiers. Since one of them saved his teammate's life, they are rewarded and allowed to relax while eating oranges. One by one, the training staff teaches the soldiers how to stay safe, how to attack with rifles, and how to trap enemy soldiers. The camp nurses watch the training from a distance. The soldiers learn how to throw grenades and how to properly handle and fire weapons. The main hero of our story is Leo. The nurses at the camp quickly start liking him because he is having a great time and joking around while playing handball. The next day, the soldiers are taught how to sneak up behind enemies and attack them with knives. Guys, this man's name is Robin. I don't know why he has such a problem with our main character, Leo. During the trial period, Robin refused to help Leo. Then, when Leo bravely saved his teammate and earned the right to relax and eat oranges, Robin still wasn't happy about it. Later, everyone is practicing knife combat. Robin's teammate Kelvin steps forward to train with him, but Robin suddenly punches him and claims it was an accident. Seeing this makes Leo furious. He drags Robin into the water and starts beating him relentlessly. The other soldiers watch from the sidelines and seem to enjoy the fight. It even looks like most of them are supporting Leo. But suddenly, Leo disappears underwater. Everyone thinks a crocodile may have taken him. Then, out of nowhere, Leo emerges from behind Robin and lands a powerful punch right on him. The scene changes. Robin, after getting beaten up, sits down with his friends to play cards. Meanwhile, Leo is in the medical hall receiving treatment from the nurses. Leo keeps staring at a beautiful nurse named Hazel. Later that night, Leo and his friend Kelvin visit the nurses again because it is their final night at the camp. The next day, they will be leaving for war. Leo spends the entire night talking with Hazel while smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol. Meanwhile, Hazel's nurse friend spends time talking with Kelvin. Before they know it, the entire night passes by. The next day, the scene shifts to somewhere in the Timor Sea. A group of soldiers is traveling through the middle of the ocean on a ship, heading toward the war zone. Everyone is nervous because nobody knows when an attack might happen. Leo lights a cigarette to calm his nerves. Suddenly, they hear an air raid siren. Moments later, a powerful missile strike completely destroys the soldiers' cabin. After the explosion, Leo pulls his teammate out from beneath part of the ship's wreckage. Standing on a broken section of the ship, he helps Kelvin recover. A short time later, Kelvin regains consciousness. But by then, the air attack has already destroyed most of the ship. It appears that everyone from Leo's cabin may have been killed. As Leo and Kelvin search the wreckage, they find another member of their cabin, Tommy. Due to a severe head injury, Tommy seems mentally disoriented. A little later, they hear a strange sound. Tommy suddenly says, "What's wrong? Let's go for a little walk." Kelvin replies, "No, stay where you are. You've suffered a head injury." Tommy then starts making unusual noises with his mouth. Fortunately, those sounds help Leo's remaining friends locate them, and they make their way over using a floating section of the ship. One by one, more survivors gather around Leo. The place where they are stranded is surrounded by danger, and what that danger actually is, you'll find out later in the story. When morning arrives, the group begins discussing how to escape from the area. Suddenly, they hear something moving behind them. However, they ignore the sound and continue planning. Kelvin estimates a possible route back to camp, but without Without a motorboat, there is no way for them to leave this place. Fortunately, they have one motorboat nearby. Along with that, they have 10 guns, 3 grenades, a knife, and a can of gasoline. Leo volunteers to retrieve the motorboat. He carefully observes the floating debris in the water and uses it to make his way toward the boat. Jumping from one floating object to another, Leo finally reaches the motorboat. After tying a rope to it, he shouts, "Pull the rope!" Once the boat is brought back to the group, Leo pours gasoline into it. But unfortunately, the motorboat's engine is already damaged and no longer works. After this, the group realizes they have no choice but to remain stranded in the middle of the ocean. As they discuss possible ways to escape, something suddenly slams into their boat with tremendous force. Everyone wonders what it could be. Leo says it's probably just some kind of sea creature. One of the leader's companions is sitting near the edge of the boat. Suddenly, the ocean's greatest predator attacks him, a massive 20-foot shark. The group is horrified. The man disappears completely without a trace. Afterward, the shark repeatedly crashes into the broken section of the ship, trying to break it apart so the survivors will fall into the water and become easy prey. The shark ignores the dead bodies floating in the ocean because this 20-foot female shark wants only fresh meat. The next morning arrives. Everyone is asleep when a grenade pin accidentally comes loose from Robin's hand, sending the grenade near a wounded soldier. Within moments, the injured soldier is blown apart. This makes Leo even angrier at Robin. But what's done is done. Stranded alone in the middle of the ocean, there isn't much they can do about it now. The survivors wash their faces with seawater and try to rest. Leo is extremely thirsty, but there is no drinking water available. As a result, Leo decides to drink his own urine. In front of everyone, he actually does it. After drinking it, he says, "It's a little strong, but not bad." Then he lies down and rests. A short while later, Kelvin spots a jet aircraft flying overhead. He believes it may be their chance to get rescued and return home. However, they don't realize that the jet belongs to the enemy. As gunfire begins raining down on them, Leo immediately jumps into the water. The people who remain on the boat suffer heavy damage. When the jet returns for another attack run, Leo grabs a rifle while the others dive into the water. Leo also gets injured while fighting back. But surprisingly, when the survivors finally look up, they discover that the enemy jet has been completely destroyed. Fortunately, the bullet that struck Leo has passed through his body and exited from the other side. Another shocking revelation follows. The soldier who had been shot earlier was used by Robin as bait to distract the shark and save himself. The moment Leo hears this, he becomes furious and starts beating Robin. During the struggle, Robin moves too close to the boat's edge, and the shark suddenly snaps at him, taking his hand. At that moment, it seems Robin is finally facing the consequences of his actions. As time passes, evening finally arrives. Only 3 people remain on the boat: Leo, Kelvin, and Robin. Suddenly, Kelvin notices something in the distance. A man is approaching them in a motorboat, carrying a large sword in his hand. Leo says, "Kelvin, this is war. Throw our last grenade at that boat." However, when Kelvin sees the man throw away his sword, he assumes the stranger might be surrendering. But as the boat gets closer, the man suddenly attacks Kelvin. First, he kicks Leo into the water. Then he starts beating Kelvin relentlessly. After that, he flips Kelvin over and tries to drown him by forcing his face underwater. A powerful kick sends Kelvin back into the water alongside Leo. But then, a massive explosion erupts. Robin takes the last grenade and sacrifices himself, killing both the enemy and himself in the blast. Meanwhile, Leo and Kelvin climb aboard the enemy's motorboat. At the end of the entire story, only these 2 friends, Leo and Kelvin, survive. They start the motorboat and begin their journey back home. Robin had been a terrible person throughout most of the story, but in the end, he performed one final act that changed how people would remember him. Anyone who watches this story until the end will likely no longer hate Robin. And guys, with that, our story comes to an end. Let me know in the comments what type of movies you'd like me to cover next. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next story. Bye!